the good news is we can print, Photolux is here, we can print high dynamic range images, and we can print them fine art. If you ever heard about fine art, I mean, we as Hahnemühle and others stand for the fine art, which is 10 color, 11 color, 12 color, so we use 3 blacks. We have a dynamic range that fully cover everything that's available in cameras, phones, the newest. However, fine art is still the tip of the iceberg in terms of print. Come by us, see our booth, papers are available, the coatings available, printers on the show, Canon, Epson, HP have these 12 color printers available. So the good news is we can do what electronics is asking us to do. However, you need to spend the extra moment to be with us, to find these papers, find the right inks, find the right equipment. What I will be presenting for my colleague Hahnemühle, who's tied up in a different meeting, so she sent me, is another topic. It's about innovation, it's about sustainability in the range of paper, in the range of fine arts, in the range of photo. So what's the next thing out there, what we have to do to make this industry more sustainable? And I'll present to you a project that was broadcasted earlier in Norddeutschen Fernsehen. Also, you will have a little bit insight of what we're developing right now. So Hahnemühle, sustainable paper, nurturing the creativity and preserving nature. This is kind of the demand of the time. So how can things like imaging and creativity come together with nature preservation? Hahnemühle, a legacy here of paper development. We're a medieval started company from 1584. It goes back to the first days of paper making in Germany, still existing in the same location. We use artesical well water from the mountain that we actually use to have these superfine papers made. It's a very traditional way. It's a mold made, so you have a felt. And there's a milestones here, over 440 years of paper making. Picasso, a famous artist, others, Salvador Dali, and others have painted, water painted on our paper. So the heritage goes way back into the first days of printing, the first days of actually imaging, and then into modern times, the last 25 years, we have shaped, I think, image experiment of fine art, which is actually bringing the best together of inkjet printing together with this mold-made, surface-textured paper. Now, how is this on the go into future in paper? Something that has to be more sustainable, more recyclability. And I will show you a project that we recently started and that coming to life as we speak. What are we doing here? In fact, in the case of Hahnemühle, we're situated in a natural preserve area. So this area is preserved. We cannot deal with toxic elements in our paper recipes because all of the water that we draw from the ground has to be mostly released into the river, and the river has to be as pure as it came from the sources, from the well. So we can only deal with 4 ingredients mainly. So those are the fibers. This is the main important ingredient. Typically it's the cellulose fiber. But also there is chalk. So this chalk is a very natural mineral component, giving the white and the filling. Then there is some glue. Typically you will have a vegan glue. And besides those, there may also some starch. You need starch to cover the sheet. So this is 4 ingredients. It's very pure. There's nothing much in it aside to mix the pulp. And the pulp is then being, processed into being paper sheets. So, but in order to do this, you need a couple of things. I talked about water. You need energy. You need a lot of energy. Energy in this case is coming from heat, but in our case, it's also mainly coming from a natural resource, which is in this case wind. We have a lot of wind farming in and around the area. We will draw from those, but also we will really work hard to also replace what we're using in natural gas to heat up the pulp, the water, to draw out the water in the machine, to migrate that to renewable sources. In our case, it could be wood chips. Wood chips is readily available. It can be biogas, or in fact, all the paper industry in Germany will finally migrate to hydrogen because it's already piped. So the hydrogen can just replace the natural gas. We are the whole industry, to include Hahnemühle, is hydrogen ready. So those are the steps that we take to be carbon neutral in the next couple of decades, I would think, but we are already very well underway, and we have the milestones identified. Now, the life cycle of a print, what is sustainable? In this case of Hahnemühle, we make so-called archival papers. Archival papers, there's nothing in it that makes them yellowing. So this is very important. By light exposure, normally you have lignin and other things in paper, like newsprint. They will deteriorate the color. The base color will deteriorate into yellowish. In our case, there is lignin is completely taken out, and there's no other chemicals that do degrade over time. So our papers are in museums, galleries, in art stores, where everybody that acquires a piece of art has to be assured that over 100 years and way more, the color will maintain their color appearance. And this is guaranteed through our standards here, which we make sure that everything is tested, very stringent method of UV testing, UV exposure testing, that so there's nothing deteriorate and you have to throw it away. You really can keep it, or you can put it in a certain box, and it's archival. So it's something like a document storing much longer than actually a hard drive. It will store forever almost if you keep it right. So it's archivability of paper is very crucial, important. And also, lately, we've begun to replace fibers that typically come from forest with fibers that come from more grassy crops. So what do I mean with grassy crops or renewable resources here? One of the examples is hemp. Hemp was known as industrial hemp over the decades, even in Europe, and then was shut down by prohibited because hemp was used as cannabis to get high or something. So right now they're re-exploring hemp because hemp is growing 4 times faster. It needs only a fraction of water, and the wood could otherwise be used in the construction industry. So we use less wood, we use more hemp. So one of the materials, I've also brought along a little sample box. The colleague has it over there. We sell certain photo papers, we sell on hemp fiber materials, but there's others. We use bagasse from the sugarcane industry, from sugar. This is a side product that otherwise would be wasted, and we do use agave, and this is another photo paper. So we have a range already that comes with much more environmental friendly fibers than this normal wood cellulose. But one late project is working with pineapple, and let me show you this movie real quick. So this pineapple pulp is generated from waste that is actually generated when you plant pineapple trees. And this is coming from a broadcast that was earlier done with this company. It's a startup company in Hannover University in Hannover, next to the Chemistry Institute. And what they do, they use the pineapple leaves that are set aside on the pineapple fields in Central Latin America. And then they treat them so that there is a pulp which we use to make photo paper, pineapple type photo paper. And what it gives you a little bit backside of the steps that are being taken of the startup company. It's a small company, they have less than 10 people. They will treat it in certain ways to take the lignin and other components away from those pineapple leftovers, let me say, and then to make out of this pineapple stuff that is available in abundance, because it's otherwise stored next to the field, it's wasted, it's completely wasteful, it's even harmful. They take this and then actually treat it such that it can be reused in the way of a photo paper or a normal paper sheet. So this is what we're currently doing. So in a couple of months, we will, for the first time, we will introduce a photo paper made of pure waste that otherwise is really harmful to the environment. So you see what happens. The pineapple is the stuff that's used. Everything else is really wasteful. And now this company came up, and it's a startup, and with them together, we work on the process to bring this waste back to life in the photo paper. So this is available. I think it's on the internet. It was broadcasted under DAS in NDR. And it shows our laboratory, how we bring this waste in a little paper machine. Here you can see it. It's been diluted by water, and then it comes into the paper sheet making machine. You will extract the water, and then you will see how to make paper out of those fibers. And those are the approaches that we as a paper industry, and particularly Hahnemühle, takes to really bring on the heritage of paper making to a more sustainable, less carbon intensive future, and to use waste instead of pure raw materials in order to really come to perfect results and also to perfect imaging. Here's the CEO of that company. So watch out for Hahnemühle, watch out for these things as we begin innovating and really renewing all of our paper offerings and bringing them to the graphics, arts, and printing industry. And if you want to learn more about this, come out, see us at Hall 16. We have a booth there. We have most of the papers are on display, and you can learn more about how paper is made and what steps the industry takes in order to bring this to the next level of sustainability. It's a little bit of the background where all these in this is mostly Costa Rica, in fact. Costa Rica is where all the pineapple plants are grown. And finally, the pulp plant will be financed by the Costa Rican government in order to make use of those waste levels that are being thrown away and then bring back to use in the paper industry, basically. I'm wondering, maybe we can slide over to the next thing. So this was for the video. This was a little bit of backside of these innovative stories that we have carried along for more than 440 years. So we keep innovating, we keep pushing the boundaries, not only in quality, but mostly also lately in sustainability. And we have this logo called the Green Rooster logo. What does the Green Rooster do? All the papers in the range of natural fiber papers that we have on the market, a certain percentage, 10% is put aside, and we do finance reforestation projects and stuff like that to bring back or to give back to the environment where we take our resources from. So watch out for the Green Rooster logo. Our natural line papers all have that. So by buying anything out of the line, you will also participate in those sustainability projects. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for being here, and hope I could give a little bit inspire of what the future holds. And yeah, if any questions, feel free, come forward, ask me.
Thank you very much for the presentation.